last month we had about 65% cash collection. This month we have 90% of it. तो वो भी change हुआ
Hi guys, welcome to another case study of Kingdom Club winners, and this time we have Sharma with us, who was able to 3 times his conversion rate for a high-ticket product in just 30 days. And today we are going to learn the secrets, what he used, what he didn't use, what he changed, and everything, so that you can also get the value from this video and understand how to apply all of that in your business to 3 times your conversion rate as well. So welcome, Ninath. Finally, you are in the Kingdom Club winners. Congratulations for the
Thank you.
achievement. Just before we move forward, who are you? What do you do? Just a brief background about yourself.
So Himanshu, I am a Chitta Yoga and mind priming practitioner. And what I do is, along with my team, of course, is that
Hmm.
I help kids who have difficulty understanding subjects or are mobile addicted or they don't like studying. I help them change themselves from the inside so they can become disciplined, focused, and more calm, better behaved teenagers.
Got it. So you mentioned that you are, into mind programming and multiple things like this. Why did you choose this business only and not anything else in the world? Like, was there any specific reason or a story behind that?
So before COVID, I ran almost a global operation, tourism operation. Okay. And what, we used to do social tourism, wherein young people from all over the world would come and work in social projects. And we liked that work because it was a commercial business, but it also helped people and it helped young people from other countries to get experience. But what I got sort of dissatisfied with was that the work we were doing was very at a very surface level. So if you can go and teach some kids for 1 month in a let's say an orphanage in Thailand, okay, you do it for 1 month, and after that there is no support system. Like it's unsustainable. In fact, I even wrote a best-selling book on it. But I had gotten I wanted to do more meaningful work. And in my personal life, I had gone through a very bad phase, both in terms of relationships and downturn in, business and health. And the major discovery that I made was that our mind runs our actions, and our actions decide our destiny, right? So to make a lasting change in somebody's life, the one had to work at the root, which was the mind. And so I trained myself and I put together this organization. It's still in its new phase, and we are helping teenage kids because teenage is a very difficult age for both parents and for the children. And so we thought this was something that we want to. It's a major challenge that we wanted to tackle. So that's where we are.
Hmm. Makes sense. Makes sense. So, how did you stumble upon ICE? Like, how did you find me or Internet Coaching Empire? Like, what was your,
I think it was good old online advertising that
okay.
there was something. I think I saw you many times, and so
Hmm.
the funny backstory is that I used to be very concerned about how is this going to look on the camera and everything, and there you were in your easygoing manner, ad after ad, ad after ad. So there were two things that happened. One thing is I told myself, is like, here's this gentleman, nearly half my age, on the camera, right? And he's advertising and he's probably going places. So I felt a bit embarrassed about myself, you know. And the second is just, I think it was an easy entry point. It's like, okay, 500 rupees or whatever it was, for that 3 hour thing. ठीक है, करके देखते हैं, right? And that's how it started. And then, of course, your demeanor, your you're producing results, but at the same time you seem like you seem like all of us, and like an average guy who's made things happen. So I think there was a relatability, and then your coaching style and your sense of humor. I don't know whether you mean it to be humor, but I find it quite funny. And so I think that is what one thing led to the other, and here I am.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. So, um, you joined ICE and it started working out. You 3x your conversion rate. What changed? And how were you feeling when you were going through the change? Because that change is a little rough. Like ऐसा लगता है कभी कभी यार करूँ कि नहीं करूँ डर लगता है. So like what were the changes and how did you felt when you were going through the changes?
So unlike so to my advantage, Himanshu, unlike most 46 plus entrepreneurs. I had gone through about 600 sales calls using another
Yeah.
methodology,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So I had gotten, and I had gone through, and for me, sales was more like understanding the problems that my people were dealing with,
Mm.
because ultimately, if you can't understand their problem, you can't really get them in your program. So people call it sales. I actually call it service, because if you don't
Mm.
understand and if you
Yes.
don't do a good job in communicating that, you're not able to serve them and you're not able to make a change, a very significant change to their life. So I had the advantage of having gone through 600 sales calls over the last 1.5 year. And so when I heard a couple of things that you had mentioned in your sales training, uh, it instantly clicked. It's like this was the missing piece, right? And as soon as I installed the missing piece, we went from 15.7% last month to 42.8% this month.
Wow.
So डर
And
नहीं
while
लगा,
increasing your
डर
cash
नहीं लगा,
collection.
excitement हुआ कि अरे ये missing था. This is what I was looking for. And actually, by the way, this
Got it.
sales
Got it. It's like,
percentage conversion is not
mm,
when I have sold, it's when my team member has sold. So and he has
nice.
not even done the 600
Nice.
calls.
Nice.
My 600 calls were only relevant to the fact that I could make sense of what you were teaching and transfer it to my team member. And he made that difference. I have not been the one been selling. I haven't spoken
People
about the
would
cash collection.
hesitate
So
when
let
they're
me just tell
opening
you.
this.
So last month we had about 65% cash collection. This month we have 90% of it. तो वो भी change हुआ है.
So 30%
So
jump in that. A
yes,
3x conversion rate,
सारा
big
economics change
change.
हो गया.
When people are watching this, they feel like कि ये कुछ भी ऐसा थोड़ा ना होता है, ऐसा बिजनेस में इतना जल्दी थोड़ा ना कुछ हो जाता है कि कुछ चेंज करो हो जाता है. When you told your closer, ये सब चेंज करना नहीं, ये सब करना है, was he hesitant or was he like हाँ कर लेंगे?
Luckily, because I have a solid background of 600 calls, which is not a lot, but
Hmm.
how much average person does calls, उसके हिसाब
Hmm.
से ठीक है. So I think my team, all of my team does believe when I tell them to try
Yeah.
something. So I have that advantage. And we are a behavioral change company. So one thing we definitely do is change our own behavior.
Makes sense. Makes sense. What were your like favorite tools and templates when you were going through the 3 day or the whole ICEx program?
So I'll talk about the 3 day because I'm still on the way to Pura ICEx के बाद में maybe we'll record another video.
Yeah.
During the 3 days, I learned a lot of things. Uh, if I recall, one was clearly the sales script or the little tweaks. अभी तो पूरा आपका sales script हमने apply भी नहीं किया है, to tell you the truth. So we're doing kind of mix of the old one and the new one and
Yeah.
yours, na? Right. The other thing that I got, and I think it's just personal, is I got inspired by how hard you work, and
Okay.
I learned a few things about where I was not in my head. I was committed, but I was not committed in action as much as I thought I was, or I need to be. I learned how to give KPIs and KRAs to the team. I found that to be quite useful. I think one of the biggest things that I learned, and now that it just याद नहीं है, एकदम से मैं recollect करता हूँ. Uh, so I think when people get older, maybe, or when they are very conscious of things that they shouldn't be conscious of. So one of the key things that I've learned, and for those who are listening to this, I will find out whether I learned the right thing or maybe I learned the wrong thing, but worry too much about इसका क्वालिटी कैसा है, ये सही है कि नहीं है, वो सही है कि नहीं है. And what I learned was कि ये तो मेरी problems है. These are my thoughts. The people who need help, they don't care about all that stuff, Baba. So if you really want to serve people, तो ये अपना खुद का barrier हटाओ, जाके करो. So one of the things I heard was that I saw was that how you wanted to implement things with speed and not worry about all this jhamela that I was worrying about, है ना? And I think that's very powerful. That's what I think a lot of people in our country who would be following you are likely to be younger than me, more likely. And in our country or many countries, people get all these sorts of ideas. ये quality होना चाहिए, ऐसा दिखना चाहिए, ये देना चाहिए, and that just stops them because, uh, and I think that was a takeaway, big
So,
takeaway.
if you were to put that in a line, it would be perfectionism syndrome, which is, I want this to be perfect. यहाँ blue, यहाँ red, यहाँ पे line आना चाहिए.
परफेक्शनिज्म कह सकते हैं, सेल्फ कॉन्शियसनेस कहेंगे तो ज्यादा ठीक है
Yeah,
शायद.
yeah,
यू लाइक,
getting
अरे मैं कैसा दिख रहा हूँ, मेरी चीज
it.
कैसी दिख रही है.
Hmm.
करोड़ों अरबों पेजेस में से आपका एक पेज है, दिख भी कैसी भी रही है, अगर लोगों को काम आ रही है तो ठीक है. दैट्स व्हाट दे
Right.
केयर अबाउट. लाइक हमको,
Hmm.
हम ये तो नहीं कहते डॉक्टर के पास जा रहे हैं तो सुंदर होना चाहिए डॉक्टर, हैंडसम होना चाहिए. अरे भाई, इलाज करना चाहिए.
Hmm. Makes sense. Makes sense. So you getting to the simple Sada Ghatia model, SSG model, of doing the thing fast.
आई
Makes
वोंट
sense.
रियली कॉल इट घटिया, आई वुड से सादा सिंपल और कंप्लीटेड. सादा
uh,
सिंपल कंप्लीटेड. अरे कंप्लीट तो करो. यू नो
Makes
घटिया
sense.
क्यों बोल रहा है? घटिया प्रोडक्ट घटिया नहीं होना चाहिए, बाकी तो सब
Got
कुछ,
it.
सो लॉन्ग एज
Hmm.
इट गेट्स कम्युनिकेटेड, है ना. सो आई थिंक
Hmm.
कहाँ, बट वट एवर, इफ योर टर्म इज प्रोबली
Yeah,
मोर
yeah, makes sense.
वेल
Makes sense.
वेल पॉलिश्ड. जी.
Yeah,
सो आई थिंक
makes
दैट
sense.
वाज, दीज आर सम ऑफ द, दिस वन वाज प्रोबली द बिगेस्ट.
Got it.
सेल्स का है, बट आई थिंक सेल्स का इम्पैक्ट एक एरिया में दिख रहा है. ये जो माइंडसेट शिफ्ट हुआ है ना, उसका इम्पैक्ट हर एरिया में दिखेगा.
Right. So you are able to build KRs faster, KPIs faster, test the script faster, test the ads faster, like everything will.
Not overthink.
Hmm. Hmm. Completely makes sense. So what change did you do in your whole sales process as well? Because like 3 times conversion, 3x cash collection. क्या क्या change करा पूरे sales process में? एक तो आपने sales के बताया, but पूरे उसमें क्या क्या change किया? Did you change before, after, or something?
uh, I think at this moment, जितना भी मैंने कोर्स किया है, this is the only change we made so far.
Makes sense.
है
Makes
ना,
sense.
अभी
Makes
तक तो
sense.
इतना ही किया है. क्या पता सारा कर दे तो 100%.
भाई ये तो केस स्टडी के लिए मैं वेट करूंगा 100% कन्वर्जन कॉल फॉर द होल मंथ.
फिर तो हम दुनिया के लिए केस स्टडी बन जाएंगे, फिर आप और हम साथ में लोगों को सिखाएंगे कैसे करते हैं.
फॉर
नो,
श्योर यार,
समथिंग
फॉर
लाइक
श्योर.
दैट.
Like that is done, तो I would also be like कि भाई ये कैसे हो गया, तो हमने भी नहीं किया आज तक. Anyways, like when you joined ICE, what was your happiest day after that? If you can recollect any moment.
So I think couple of things. One was happiest बोलूंगा तो the day that your sales thing started working. अभी एक महीना ही हुआ है ना. Like मैं अभी ज्यादा कुछ कह नहीं सकता. That was the happiest. And I think what is also giving me hope is कि जो funnel मैं चला रहा हूँ, that's not the only option. So I do need to fix a lot of things in my funnel where, we can generate some revenue even before the main offer is taken up by somebody. And तो
Because I
वो
remember you
एक,
were in a Q&A call and you were showing me the page and I'm like, sir ये तो headline ही गड़बड़ है. And you were like, अरे हाँ ये तो कभी ध्यान नहीं
हाँ
दिया spelling mistake headline में और हम चला रहे इतनी scale पे. I
हाँ,
remember that.
विच इज अनदर, कि तब भी चल रहा था स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक होके भी, और मैं वो चिंता कर रहा हूँ, और ये क्वालिटी क्या है, वो क्वालिटी क्या है, पेज प्रॉपर प्रोफेशनल अपवर्क के डिजाइनर ने, अमेरिका वाले ने किया है कि नहीं किया है, लाइक ऑल दैट नॉनसेंस. हाँ, एंड इट वाज स्टिल वर्किंग. सो या,
Makes
I'll have
sense.
more
Makes sense.
stories to tell. I think the next time we have done some
Yeah,
more,
yeah, for sure,
achieved
for
some
sure.
more milestones and gone through
For
more of the
sure. It's
course.
it's it's just been a month, you are just going at your own pace.
जी.
What so revenue's coming, profits are coming, things are going smoother now. What are you working on right now? Like what's the future plan from you?
So a long-term vision is the way it is, है ना, वो हमेशा से ही था, is to create a global organization. But again, 1,000-mile journey starts with the first step. I think the next thing we need to work on is to have multiple sources of engaged leads into the system. और एक उससे मुझे ध्यान आया, आपने कहा था, बड़ा इंसाइटफुल लगा था मुझे, आपने 3 डे की वर्कशॉप में ही शायद कह दिया था कि भाई आप सेल्स कॉल में डरते इसलिए हो क्योंकि आपके पास लीड फ्लो नहीं है ना. वो एकदम, इट वाज लाइक रियली हिटिंग द नेल ऑन इट्स हेड, है ना, एकदम सटीक था. सो आई थिंक फॉर अस द नेक्स्ट लॉजिकल थिंग आफ्टर वी वर्कड ऑन आवर कन्वर्जन इज टू generate, profitably generate more and more leads.
Because if you can just increase the lead flow at this conversion rate, I think going from 8 lakhs to like 16, 32, 64 is not like a big deal because it's just the game of leads any now. And I think that can be easily scaled from there.
जी.
And in our community, we not only talk about how much you have made or what is your business about, but also the results your people are getting. So one thing that happens is if we increase the conversion rate too much, we start taking wrong fits sometime. Is that happening in your thing, or people are getting like better results, or is it the same?
So did you say wrong what? Wrong
So,
kind of people?
like, yeah, yeah. So, a lot of misfits start coming when we increase the conversion rate because you have not
Hmm.
dropped your price. So, to
Mm-hmm.
get this conversion rate, achanak se, are we getting wrong fits, or is the success rate the same, or are people getting more results? Like, what's the case of there?
I think first of all, this is in a month, the
Hmm.
last month ka data hai. So we cannot say what will happen because the program goes on for as long as it takes to
Hmm.
fully
Hmm.
transform a child. You know?
Hmm.
So we
Hmm.
haven't encountered any of that, but I don't see that problem coming up.
Got it.
I don't
Got it.
see that problem coming up.
Hmm.
I think so here is for somebody जैसे आपने leads और confidence का connection बनाया वैसे ही there is a clear connection between the amount of money that is available to you जिसको हम cash flow बोलते हैं and your confidence in delivering a great product. अगर
Hmm.
आपको चिंता ही लगे जा रही है कि मैं कैसे महीने का बिल भरूंगा कैसे मैं एम्प्लॉयज की सैलरी दूंगा तो आपको वो अफेक्ट करता है और आपकी सर्विस डाउन जाएगी जाएगी स्पेशली ऑन सर्विस बेस्ड बिजनेस दैट वी आर
Hmm.
ठीक है सो I think actually we are going to get better. Our
Hmm.
program delivery is going to get better. More
Hmm.
money available, we can employ right
Exactly.
technologies, we can do a lot of different things. So a lot
Exactly.
of things get solved by money.
Because your stress is low on sales side and marketing side, I think that would affect, delivery
It certainly
getting.
does. Certainly
Hmm.
does.
What was your reason to join Internet Coaching Empire? Because you have been into a lot of programs, you have done a lot of coaching, you have gone to
Both
international, you've
nationally
done a
and
lot.
internationally.
Yeah. So what was your reason?
Alan
Matlab,
Deb, Frank Kern, masterminds, whatnot. Sanjay.
so you have done all of that, right? So एक अंदर से कैसा है कि इसको भी ले लेते हैं, like वो क्योंकि it's hard to get after doing everything. So and maybe I'm wrong in this, but what was your thought when that was happening?
So, देखो, as I said earlier, a lower entry price, ठीक है, that is it's always easier. Like it's always easier to
Hmm.
decide a 5,000 course
Hmm.
than a 5 lakh course, है ना? बहुत
Hmm.
आसान होता है. And
Hmm.
uh, the thing, and I think I hope some people will uh, feel inspired by this. कि you know even if I learn one thing from you, Himanshu, just one thing, and I apply it and it makes a difference तो कोर्स का I mean I have that for life.
Makes
कोर्स
sense.
की फीस का और कोर्स की फीस का और उसकी वैल्यू का अगर हम उसको यूज करते कोई मैच ही नहीं है तो
For example, you just applying that one thing and tripling your conversion rate in a lifetime gives you 1000x return on, like
हाँ
whatever.
और
Makes
इवन
sense.
मोर है
Yeah.
ना तो आई थिंक आई एम लकी इन दैट वे दैट आई even though I am 47 years old at this time, I keep looking ki bhai is there a does somebody know something that can solve this problem, and that
Yeah.
has served me
Yeah.
very well in life. I have solved
Hmm.
many very difficult problems just by having this approach. तो
Hmm.
नेट की बस खरीद के रख लेते हैं. और फिर एक चीज और बताऊं आपका जो अभी प्रोग्राम का स्ट्रक्चर है with a coach and with your coaching calls and you showing up on the calls. I think that's very peace giving. But now I'm right now also involved in an American course which is about product design, and they have कि 12 हफ्ते का ये है, करो तो करो नहीं निकलो,
Make it
राइट?
go. Hmm.
हाँ एंड श्योर मैंने उनको लिखा भी, मैंने कहा मुझे एक्सटेंड कर दो, मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, मैंने ले लिया, ठीक है वो ले लेता हूँ मैं तो एक्सटेंड कर दो. मैंने कहा मैं भाई साल के 20-25 हजार डॉलर खर्च करता हूँ कोचिंग पे, तुम्हारे लिए अच्छा क्लाइंट बनूंगा. बट देवर आई थिंक दे आर बीइंग अ लिटिल टू शॉर्ट साइटेड. तो आई थिंक आपके कोर्स के स्ट्रक्चर में एक ईज है, ठीक है, आप खुद हैं, तो आई थिंक दैट ऑल्सो हेल्प्स.
Hmm. Makes sense. Like, what are your top three learnings in the journey so far?
टॉप थ्री लर्निंग्स, डोंट ओवर थिंक, ठीक है, वर्क हार्ड, ठीक है, एंड if you're stuck, Himanshu will help.
Classics.
I
Lovely.
guess so. जी.
There are a lot of people who are watching this video and thinking like कि यार भाई ये हमारे लिए है कि नहीं, हम join करें कि नहीं, would it be something that is useful, ये बंदा scam तो नहीं करेगा मेरे साथ, all of these things. What is your advice to people who are not part of ICEx and are planning to become part of ICEx, or maybe they're watching a 3-day and watching this video? What is your advice to those people?
देखो, किसी को अगर तो लाइफ में कुछ भी ठीक करना है तो कुछ करना तो पड़ेगा, है ना? मतलब घर बैठ के नेटफ्लिक्स देख के तो नहीं चेंज होएगा, इतना सब लोग जानते हैं, मैं अभी रिपीट कर देता हूँ, ठीक है? दूसरा बात रही स्कैम की, तो भाई रिसर्च कर लो, है ना? माना ऑनलाइन दुनिया थोड़ी अननोन है। आई मीन मैं भी ऑनलाइन ही करता हूँ, है ना? मैं 20 साल ट्रैवल में रहा, अब मैं चितयोग करता हूँ, तो मेरे को भी तो लोगों ने स्कैम समझा है, बिल्कुल समझा है, ठीक है? तो ऑनलाइन रिसर्च कर लो, तो हाँ ठीक है, अपनी रिसर्च कर लो और फिर देख लो कि है कि सही है तो ले लो। और जो भी फीस है, अ, मतलब माफ करें वो लोग, पर पिछली बार फोन खरीदा था, कितने पैसे डाले थे उसमें, और वो कितना काम आया तुम्हारी लाइफ को सुधारने में, लाइक पैसे का और हम जिन चीजों पे स्पेंड करते हैं उसका कोई कंपैरिजन ही नहीं है ना? गाड़ी ले लेते हैं 3-4 साल में, फोन चेंज कर लेते हैं 6 महीने साल भर में, तो आई डोंट थिंक कि स्कैम का फैक्टर या मनी का फैक्टर होना चाहिए। हाँ, कुछ लोगों के लिए होगा, तो फिर उनको इस चीज के लिए शायद तैयार रहना चाहिए कि उनको सक्सेस मिलने में थोड़ी देर लग सकती है।
That makes sense. Because I simply say take a bet of 500 on me. Like that's the end I can say. 500 रुपए की bet लेके देख लो, मतलब फिर तुम जज कर लेना उसके बाद, मतलब is it good or not? As simple as that. Makes sense. So last question. Where these people can find you if they want to talk to you, if they want to get to your services, XYZ, where these people can find you, where are you approachable?
Well, we can be reached on studyfocus.com. Okay.
Okay.
We are otherwise, we have two physical locations, one in Jaipur in Rajasthan, one in Himachal Pradesh.
Lovely.
But
I'm in Ajmer.
हाँ जी.
I'm just taking this from Ajmer. Just came from Jaipur.
Acha, you're taking from Ajmer, so
Yeah.
we are nearby.
Yeah.
Acha. So, but to reach us would be studyfocus.com.
Lovely.
That's where we
So,
can be
guys, I'll
reached.
put the link in the description, and you can check out Ninad from there. You can get for his services if you want your teenager to study better, to get more in exams and increase the mind power. So, thank you, Ninad. This was lovely having you over here in the Kingdom Club Winners. I hope you achieve more lakhs, more crores very, very soon. And we record another case study of you reaching multiple crores as soon as possible. Thank you so much for coming over here, and thank you for
My
sharing
pleasure.
your valuable nuggets.
Thank you very much.
अगर ये इस टाइप की वीडियो पसंद है तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब मत करो. Click on my channel, see all the videos. If you feel like there are videos which can actually help you, then so click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for the notifications.